Okay, it's Father's Day, but I wanted to read this. This is from Circle of Nations, Voices and Visions of American Indians. And this is, going on with what's happening with these children now as well. Okay. Then Danny sprung up, lit by a fierce anger. We were all surprised as he leapt brutally onto the hoods of every car in the administration parking lot, crushing them one by one. There was no mercy, but this didn't satisfy his anger, an anger larger than the tall cottonwoods watching our intense human drama. He grew with the anger and kicked in each set of windows lining the academic building. Around him, whirling halo glowed in a brownish red. Within the whirl were racial epithets, his baby self abandoned by his mother for a drink, the running away of ghost of his father. Two teachers grabbed him and threw him to the ground, and tears ran from me, tears made of the same anger. Years later, as I drove up on the reservation in South Dakota, I was nearly knocked down by the force of events called power that encircled a land so beautiful you wept. I understood the boy who kicked through a little tear in the fabric so many years ago. The discrepancy between his world of loss and images of horses on the plain could only be met first with anger. Women often turn their anger inward, and at Indian school it was no different. We manifested it by mutilating ourselves, or less often by attacking others. Yet we hear the scars, and the scars were evident that we wished to live. We had to keep knives away from one Pueblo student, one of the best painters. We often carried one another and carried students to the Indian hospital to have her stomach pumped. She was a stunningly beautiful dancer. We had to hunt down another friend before she froze to death in the snow. She was trying to go home, to a home that was not there. We never really talked about any of this. We did what we could to save each other in the moment. Just as our bodies were impressed with our anger, they also provided the canvas of our most intimate art. One of my roommates decided to tattoo themselves with needles and black ink. I contemplated what I would tattoo on my hands, but I was not in love enough with anyone to tattoo their initials and LOVE on my knuckles as another girl was doing. Besides, it looked like it hurt. It was an initiation of sorts. There was no ice numbing here. Only a few girls endured it, either for love or as a mark of blood, to show their bravery or to note a particular event, a breakup, an accomplishment. 25 years later, when I picked up my own daughter from the Rehoboth Indian school near Gallup and met the boyfriend who had made her soggy with grief for a summer vacation, his hand blazed with her initials. They were still seeping blood, and I knew I had trouble. I marked myself once with a knife. I was disappearing into adolescent sea of rage and destruction, but the mark of pain assured me of my own reality. The cut could speak. It had a voice that cried on when I could not make a sound in my defense. I knew that blood could talk. It was full of the stories that call us human, that link us with stars as well as the earth. I thought I did not want to live, yet shining sound burned at the center of my heart, urging me to stand like a tall cedar pole pointed toward the apex of the starry sky. It rescued me from the oblivion and the unknown terror of memory. It was the stuff of my generation. We who came of age in the best and worst of times. We broke the surface of memory with stories of our anger and great love. We were mixed rage and beauty. And we moved from that place to remake the world in our image. And just as, they speak of remaking the world in their image, these children that are being ripped away now will be remaking the world in their image. Okay? But these children coming up, they will make sure this never happens again. Okay? They will make sure it never happens again. Okay? How many times do these types of things have to happen? First, Native Americans were torn away from their parents, from their culture, and they tried to make it a genocide of removing their culture, removing their parents, putting them in a box. Okay? Have we not learned from that? Has the lesson not been learned? Are we going to let a government yet again tear children away from their parents? Okay. These parents have come here under all these odds to make a better life for their children, not to have their children ripped away. So something to think about on today, especially on Father's Day. It's time to look at the situation and stand up and say Trump needs to be impeached. This needs to be changed. We need to take our country back. This is not who and what we are. Don't let another blight come on this country. Okay? Aho.